I'm going to tell you guys some things that I've learned being a landlord. Please excuse my hoodie. I really need to get this clean. I'm still a landlord. We just have our house hacked. Someone lives above us and we live below. And we're getting rid of our main rental, which is a little house down the street, literally worth like $60,000. It may not be worth that much. But we're getting rid of that house because being a landlord, when things are going great, they're great. They're simple. But when things go bad, when money starts getting tight, things get a little sketchy, things get a little uncomfortable. And I want to live a life full of comfort where I'm very relaxed every day. My wealth is building quietly. I don't have to really manage anything. And even with this room that we just had, or that we're getting rid of right now, I didn't have to manage much. But when things got bad, it took up time, it took up money, it took up a lot of effort to kind of get things back on track. And I'm gonna take responsibility, accountability for a lot of things that happen. The tenant stopped paying rent. You just never know what's gonna happen in your life, what circumstances is gonna happen. And I gave them a month to kind of get their stuff together, and they continued to not pay rent. And then we kind of lost communication, and I had to go through the eviction process. Now, the eviction process was not very difficult at all. It was pretty straightforward. I could kind of do my research online. I kind of knew what to do with the courts, and I found out what papers had to be sent out, and it was like a month worth of work, a month wait for us to get into the courtroom, and there's multiple court sessions that you have to go to. Also, with this rental, we've had about 3 tickets. A lot of them were your grass is too high, or you have debris in the alley. And then another one was you have not taken your trash out, and I guess pests or something, or rodents or whatever was kind of getting to the trash. 3 tickets. The tickets were $500 each. So mind you, we weren't getting paid rent, so we still had to pay mortgage on this house, even though it was very cheap mortgage. It was like $500 or $600. That's still money that we're paying every single month, and we're lucky. Not even lucky, because I like to plan that this money didn't come out of our pockets, because I always made sure that we have money in the rental account. Like, I was making sure that money was always growing, whether it was at $1,000 or $2,000, just making sure that money's always growing, and keeping the cash flow in that account as well, and keeping it separate from our main account. That's the best way to do. You gotta keep it separate from your main accounts. So we were able to actually weather the storm and just continue to pay the mortgage on this house, even though they were not paying rent. And towards the end of it, they ended up moving out. So there was no one in there, but we still had to go through the eviction process so that we can get the property back in a proper way. Kind of on my part, where I could have tried a little bit more communication with the tenant. Hey, are you guys living in there? And we could have gotten there a lot sooner and potentially got that rent back by renting it back out, by selling it a little bit faster. But the house has been on the market for the last 4 months. It's been on the market for a while, and it just has not sold yet. And it's at a low market price, so I would think it would sell, pretty quick. But that's not the case. So the tickets was definitely one of the main things where I'm like, I'm over it. And it was the same officer giving us these tickets. And I'm just like, what is this guy's problem? Why is he on us? We're just trying to rent out this place, give it to a family that needs it. And we just kept getting these tickets, and I was just kind of over it by then. Then I'm at the point where I was completely fine growing my income, my 401k. Completely fine putting $250 into my Roth IRA every month. And be good with that. Retire at 49. So that's one of the lessons I learned, is that it's not everything is meant to be. And then another one is that, and I was just getting into it a little bit, there's nothing wrong with growing your wealth the good old-fashioned way. I plan on now growing my wealth through my job. So I'm gonna be a great employee, and I'm gonna work my 20 years. And guess what? There's endless amount of people that I work with who's been working there for 20 or 25 years, and they'll be retiring soon at a good age, and they've lived a great life, so it seems. So there's countless models of people that I want to be. I want to work my job, invest 15 to 20% into my 401k, put money into my Roth IRA. Like I said, right now I'm doing $250. Maybe I'll bump it up, maybe I won't. And then collect my pension. In 20 years, I'll be retired because of the kind of job that I do. And I'm okay with that. And that's still early retirement. My finance dreams have changed so much throughout these years. It's called personal finance. It's personal to you, and it's okay to change. Because before I was saying, I'm gonna get, 10 rentals is all I need, bringing $200 a month, and then I have the extra money. But honestly, right now, things are really great. I enjoy what I do. I'm making more money. I'm also able to save more money, invest more money. I'm just thinking about how much we're gonna get from this rental when we sell it. Maybe we'll get $5,000 or $10,000. It's definitely gonna be a loss, but it's gonna be kind of that weight off my shoulders. One less thing to think about, one less moving part towards my financial freedom. I just wanna just ride it out, just take it real smooth and just become financially free, continue to invest into my 401k, continue to invest into my Roth IRA, and be a 401k millionaire. That's completely fine with me. Our single family home, keep our duplex because it's a great property and the cash flow is going to be insane when we move out of this duplex. I mean, we're probably pulling out $500, $600 a month for this duplex, and we could probably pull out even more, but that's just me being very conservative and wanted to make sure that we have a good amount of money in that account, so if something pops up, we can fix it. The third lesson I learned, I don't even know if I'm even keeping count of how many lessons this is, but I'm just kind of ranting right now, is the tenant makes or breaks your property. And that's physically and mentally. Having a good tenant will make your rental life so much easier. We've had great tenants in our duplex, and it's been a breeze, an absolute breeze. And these tenants in the other property, they were pretty good for a time. They always paid rent. Maybe we gave them like a month off or something. Maybe they were late a little bit, paid on the 15th instead of the 1st, but they always paid rent. And, they had some issues at the beginning, a lot of calls for little things. And I went over there and I fixed them, or I called someone to fix them and I got it fixed right away. And I really think they were actually good tenants. It's just circumstances happen. And that also comes back to buying rentals in certain neighborhoods. Where we live now in the neighborhood is in, it wasn't the best neighborhood. It's not this A+ neighborhood or B+ neighborhood. It's probably a C-, honestly. You're going to encounter different things. You're going to encounter different people, and you have to be willing to adjust. And you have to be willing to still vet your tenants. And this was someone that we didn't vet, but like I said, they were good since they've been in there since we bought the property about 2 years ago, and they've been great. But it's just unfortunate that we lost 4 months of rent. 4 months of rent. That was just really unfortunate that it had to go that way. And I wish that we just had better communication. Things went bad or when things went sour, I wish we could have kind of talked about it and got them out of there within a month. And then we're not losing 3 or 4 months of rent. And then we can kind of decide what we want to do. Do we want to rent it back out? Do we want to maybe lower the price a little bit more so we can get this thing sold? But that's just the name of the game. So we're still not paying for this rental out of pocket. We're still not paying the mortgage out of pocket, but we got about 1 more month before we have to start paying $500 or $600 out of pocket. And I'd rather not do that because we're trying to save for our primary home. And that account is starting to grow. That savings account is starting to grow. It is starting to collect more and more money, and we're just kind of getting in a good groove here. So we need to get this house sold, whether we get $5,000 back from it, $10,000 back from it. I don't really care. I just want to get a little bit of something. I mean, if you get nothing, that's fine. As long as I don't got to pay nothing out of pocket. I just want to get this property out of our hands and continue to live life like we've been living it. Continue to invest into the things that we believe in. Continue to invest in the stock market. And like I said, ride it out to the end. So let me know what you guys think about that. I mean, are you guys investing into real estate? Have you thought about all the factors that go into owning a rental? Because a lot of people just say, I want a rental. I want to, be a landlord. But when things like this happen, can you weather the storm? Imagine if this was a rental property. If this payment on this rental property was $1,200 or $2,000 a month, and then your tenant stops paying rent, or they move out and you can't find another tenant. So now you're paying $2,000 a month. Your rental savings account or checking account may not be built up where it should be. So now you're paying $2,000 a month out of pocket for 3 months. That's $6,000 that you're paying for this vacant unit because you have to pay the mortgage because you don't want it to be taken. You can't find a tenant, or the tenant's still in there. You're still going through this eviction process, which the whole process took about 2 months. So imagine if this rental property was a super expensive, high paying mortgage. We're trying to build over here in our personal savings account from our job money so that we can go and get our single family home. But now this is putting us back because we're paying $2,000 a month for this place. So that's not the case with this one, but that's just the name of the game. And this was a learning lesson, and a lot of these learning lessons are very expensive. It kind of makes you not even want to take these risks anymore, because that's a lot of money spent on this rental. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.